So imagine this. You're a legendary warrior. I mean, you are renowned for your skill and discipline, and you're standing on the brink of the most important battle of your life. Victory feels like it's a sure thing. But then, in a single moment, you see something that just shatters your resolve. It makes you question absolutely everything. Well, this is the profound crisis of conscience faced by the warrior Arjuna, and we're about to see exactly what he saw. And this is the statement that stops everything in its tracks. You've got a hero poised to win an entire kingdom, and he just completely rejects the whole idea of war and its rewards. So, what on earth could bring a warrior to this point? To get it, you have to see what he saw. So in this explainer, we're going to follow Arjuna's journey from this confident commander to a totally broken man. We'll cover his fateful request, the unthinkable sight that confronts him, his complete collapse, his questioning of victory itself, his argument against the sin of destruction, and of course, the final question that changes everything. We kick things off with Arjuna right in his element. He's known as Gudakesha, which means the conqueror of sleep, a name that speaks volumes about his incredible discipline. He's focused, he's prepared, and he is ready to fight. So he makes this very practical, very strategic request to his charioteer, Krishna. He wants to move to the center of the battlefield. This isn't out of fear, it's strategy. He wants to survey the enemy, to see exactly who has decided to side with his wicked cousin, Duryodhana. This is a commander assessing the field. Pure and simple. Now, Krishna's response here is subtle, but it is so powerful. Arjuna calls him Achyuta, the infallible one, and Krishna really lives up to that name. He doesn't just obey the command, he places the chariot in the perfect spot to force Arjuna to confront the full, personal, and devastating reality of this war. And this brings us right to the turning point. This is the moment when an abstract conflict, a war about justice and kingdoms, suddenly becomes an intimate, personal horror. Listen to what Krishna says. He doesn't say, "Behold the enemy army." He says, "Behold all the Kurus." He uses a family name. He's essentially telling Arjuna, look at your own lineage, your own kinsmen, assembled here and ready to fight you. And as Arjuna looks, the enemy just dissolves. He doesn't see soldiers, he sees faces he's known and loved his entire life. He sees his granduncle Bhishma, the man who raised him. He sees his teacher Drona, who taught him everything he knows about being an archer. He sees uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, and dear friends. The enemy is family. The impact of this realization isn't just emotional. It is immediate and violently physical. The great warrior, the conqueror of sleep, he just completely falls apart. You can just hear the physiological shock in his own words. The sight of his family lined up for battle sends his body into a full-on revolt. He's being overwhelmed by a compassion so profound that it becomes a physical agony. And the breakdown is so complete that his legendary Gandava bow, the very symbol of his identity as a warrior, it literally slips from his grasp. He says his very skin feels like it's on fire. He is losing the very things that define who he is. He has lost all control. He can't even stand. His mind is just spinning. All the discipline, all the training, all that resolve, it's just evaporated in an instant. He's utterly paralyzed by grief. So from this complete emotional and physical collapse, Arjuna's mind starts desperately searching for a way out. He begins to rationalize his despair, to question the entire point of this war. He asks Krishna this fundamental question. If the price of victory is the lives of everyone he loves, then what is he actually winning? A kingdom is meant to be enjoyed with family and friends. What good is a throne sitting in the middle of a graveyard? And right here is the cruel, tragic paradox at the heart of his dilemma. He realizes he's being asked to destroy the very foundation of his own happiness, just to achieve a victory that would then be completely, utterly hollow. Suddenly, the equation becomes terrifyingly simple. On one side of the ledger, you've got power, wealth, sovereignty. On the other side, teachers, fathers, children, friends, everyone who gives that power any meaning. For Arjuna, the cost is just unthinkable. And so he makes his resolution. He declares he will not fight. He says he wouldn't kill his family for an earthly kingdom, and he wouldn't even do it for control of the heavens, the earth, and the lower realms combined. His moral line has been drawn in the sand. Now, Arjuna's argument starts to evolve. It moves beyond just his personal grief and becomes this really sophisticated moral and societal argument against the war. He's not just sad anymore. He believes this fight is profoundly, fundamentally wrong. He centers his whole argument on this key concept, kulakshaya. And this isn't just about killing a few relatives. It's about the systemic sin of annihilating your own lineage, which he believes is going to have catastrophic long-term consequences. And then he lays out this chilling chain of logic, like a series of dominoes. He argues that killing the elders and leaders of the family will destroy the eternal family traditions, the kula dharma. And once those sacred traditions are gone, a moral vacuum is created. And that allows adharma, irreligion, unrighteousness, to just flood in and corrupt all of society for generations to come. This brings us to the climax of Arjuna's despair. I mean, he has exhausted every argument. His body has failed him, his mind is in turmoil, and he sees no way out of this. So he's left in this state of complete moral paralysis. He's trapped. His duty as a warrior demands that he fight, but his love for his family screams for him to stop. Unable to resolve this conflict, he just casts aside his bow and arrows and surrenders to his grief. And he ends with this final, heartbreaking question. It's a plea, really, for an answer he just cannot find himself. It's a question that hangs in the air over the entire battlefield, born of profound love and despair. And it's the very question that opens the door for the divine wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. When duty and love collide, what is the right path forward?